Welcome back to the 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for 17 News at Noon. I'm Nicole Kitsky. We begin this afternoon with an alleged car-to-car shooting at an intersection in South Bakersfield, the second such incident in just 3 days. Now, it happened around 7:45 last night at the intersection of Monitor Street and Ivy Tray Lane. That's where a woman reported being shot by a man in another car. She was not wounded, but police say 19-year-old driver of the other car then crashed into a home nearby on Ivy Tray Lane. Police say he was arrested and taken to the hospital. Anyone with information is asked to contact Bakersfield Police at 327-7111. And a man shot at a local hotel has died. The shooting happened just before 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Officers found the victim, a 21-year-old man, at the Residence Hotel courtyard on Union Avenue. That's north of East Truxton Avenue. He was taken to the hospital where he died nearly 4 hours later. No arrests have been made. Anyone with information on the shooting is urged to contact BPD at 327-7111. And new at noon, 2 known gang members are behind bars for gun and drug possessions. Now, according to Bakersfield Police, last night Kern County probation officers searched a property of known gang member 20-year-old Gregory Allen. During the search, police located a loaded gun and cocaine base. Then later that night, during a traffic stop, they found 44-year-old Rocky Hernandez with a loaded gun and methamphetamine. Allen and Hernandez both face firearm charges. BPD says these 2 investigations are part of an ongoing effort to change the cycle of gang violence in our community. And a home invasion call led to a chase involving multiple sheriff's deputies early this morning. Kern County Sheriff's Office says it happened just before 11:45 last night on Pine Meadow Drive, just off Airport and Merle Haggard Drives in North Bakersfield. Someone called to report of a group of people trying to kick down the door of a home. KCSO says when they arrived, the suspects took off in a vehicle and led them on a slow speed pursuit through Oildale. Things picked up when they hit Highway 99. Eventually, the chase ended on RD Circle near South Myrtle Avenue in South Bakersfield. 5 people were arrested, 4 of them juveniles. Charges range from vandalism, failure to yield, and robbery. Deputies say the 5 arrested had forced their way into the home on Pine Meadow, assaulting 2 people before taking property and fleeing the scene. KCSO says this all stemmed from a prior dispute between the 2 parties involved. And Bakersfield police need your help to find a man accused of sexual assault. Now, this happened Tuesday just after 8:15 near the corner of Hughes Lane and Maurice Avenue in South Bakersfield. They say a woman was jogging when the man in the composite sketch assaulted her and tried to take off her clothing. She was able to break free and the suspect ran off. If you know anything about this case, you're asked to contact police at 327-7111. All right, thanks so much for that, Kevin. Well, Kern County is pushing to get more people tested for COVID-19 so more businesses can officially reopen. Our latest numbers show 1 more person has died and 73 new cases were announced. But Public Health Director Matt Constantine said today our numbers are continuing to trend downwards, shedding a positive light on Kern's chances of reopening. But that can't change without more testing, and the county is pushing for that to happen. The state inflates Kern's case rate because testing in Kern is below the state's average. That keeps Kern in the most restrictive tier on the state's monitoring list. But if testing goes up and Kern's case rate doesn't increase, we can move out of that tier. Now, you can schedule a free test by calling 211 or by visiting kerncounty.com. Now, today you can get tested at Kern County Public Services building on 2700 M Street. And during the public health briefing this morning, Condor's president Matthew Riley said they are launching a new incentive to get more people tested in our county.
We, in conjunction with the Mechanics Bank Arena, are announcing that anybody tested from now until November 15th, you'll be entered into a drawing to win 2 tickets to every event in the arena in 2021.
Riley says he hopes this will encourage more people to go out and get tested so people can go back to work. And Governor Newsom also signed an executive order last night allowing local governments to halt evictions for commercial renters through March of 2021. Previously, the extension on eviction protections lasted through February 1st. Under the order, no one can be evicted due to past due rent as a direct result of COVID-19 related financial difficulties. The tenant must provide a declaration of hardship to their landlords. Tenants are still responsible for paying the unpaid amounts, but those debts cannot be the basis for an eviction. Well, chickens were the topic at last night's city council meeting, and now people living in Bakersfield limits will be allowed to raise the birds at their home. The ordinance allows nearly anyone with a backyard to raise up to 8 hens for eggs, meat, or just for fun. The council voted 4-3 to approve a tiered system when it comes to regulating the distance between a chicken coop and a neighboring home. People can raise 4 hens with 10 feet of distance from another residential building, 5 to 6 hens with a 15-foot gap, and 7 or 8 hens with a 20-foot gap. Now in your education news, Bakersfield City School District will start welcoming students back into the classroom next month. According to BCSD, they will gradually welcome students back in a 4-phase plan that will begin October 19th. The district says select group of students identified by the state in the small cohort group will return for in-person learning. BCSD says they are closely following health and safety guidelines to continue to make sure students' health stay as their #1 priority. And children who are not up to date on their vaccinations are not allowed to attend school even with distance learning. Now, Adventist Health is still offering free immunizations all this month with its mobile unit. These shots are free for children who have no health insurance or for families on Medi-Cal or for Native children. Any child older than 5 will need an appointment. Air quality continues to remain an issue across the Golden Empire. The Golden Empire has seen some clearer skies the past couple of days, but the Valley Air District warns residents to stay indoors as air quality is expected to worsen. Let's send things over to Kevin Charette now. Now, I know we've just been seeing blue skies and I've been enjoying it.
The air quality isn't expected to be too bad. Readings right now, and we are actually good in all Valley locations. Frazier Park, a good AQI at 29, and where our focus is right now is into the Kern Valley near Lake Isabella. We're unhealthy, and then we've got hazardous conditions just north of that up near Kernville, where they're reading right now at 416, and then out in the desert, Mojave is also unhealthy right now, where they've got readings at 166. So there are some areas that just can't scour out the smoke. And now with the fire burning up near Havilah, a small fire, we'll have to see how those readings are throughout the day. 79 degrees in Bakersfield right now with a west wind at 5. We've got 10 miles visibility and temperatures running into the 80s and lower 90s. We've got Shafter having a little bit of an issue out that way with their observation site. Don't think you're at 90 degrees, Shafter, and that's a good thing. 70s for the mountains, 75 up at Lake Isabella, 88 in Sacramento, 90 in Fresno today, 70s down to the South Vegas, still warm at 102. And here's our overall pattern. We've been looking at rain out of the Pacific Northwest. They're enjoying that. We should start to see clearing skies there as that system lifts north and east, and then ridge of high pressure is going to build north in the coming days. That will clear all the rain out, and it's also going to help warm us up as well here in Kern County. Here's a look at the air quality overall for us today. By this afternoon, we will be moderate with an AQI reading at 87, and your temperatures today, I did trim them back a little bit. 87 in Bakersfield, 88 in Delano, 89 in Taft and Buttonwillow for the mountains in the Kern River Valley today. We'll look for the winds out of the northwest 5 to 10. Frazier Park at 83, 82 in Tehachapi, 90s for the Kern River Valley, Lake Isabella 92. And then for the desert, we'll look for winds to gusts right around 45 this afternoon and a high of 91 in Mojave. Here's your extended forecast. And tomorrow, not a bad day with 86. And then you can see as we get closer into the weekend, things warm up. Monday, Tuesday, calling for 100 degrees, back into the upper 90s by next Wednesday. For the mountains, a little bit breezy today. Tomorrow, 79, and then warming you up into lower 90s Sunday through Wednesday. And then for the Kern River Valley, we're going to keep that smoke around. Tomorrow, 89, and then right near 101 Sunday through next Wednesday. We talk about the air quality numbers, and the Valley Air District predicting maybe they get a little worse. They're seeing this ridging that's supposed to come into play by the end of the week and early next week. Whenever we see ridges of high pressure come on in, we usually see our air quality kind of go downhill. So that's probably what they're looking at. looking further down the road.
Well, that's good to know. And also, you know, I feel like we're getting a little sneak peek of fall, but instead we're just going to get hit with summer again. So
this is typical this time of year. When we see a change, we usually get this pendulum of cooler, warmer, and then finally cooler.
All right. Well, I think we're all looking forward to that.
Most definitely.
Thanks for that, Kevin.
Yep.
Well, the number of first-time applications for unemployment stays under 1 million, but disappoints Wall Street. The number of first-time filers hit 870,000 last week, according to the Labor Department. That's continuing claims or people who have claimed benefits for 2 weeks or more dropped to 12.58 million. That's still higher than most analysts expected. This number comes in as U.S. lawmakers have all but stopped working on a new fiscal stimulus package. On Wednesday, the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell told lawmakers that the recovery will move forward more smoothly if workers can get help from the federal government. Some analysts say that the economy is past the point of rebounding from the shutdown and is entering the slow recovery phase, largely as a result of a solid headwind from the labor market. Local restaurants are working to keep their doors open. Now, the Noodle Bar announced that they are expanding their outdoor dining on I Street. According to the restaurants, they are working in partnership with Jin Sushi, Sandrini's, and Toss It to expand that outdoor dining. Now, Noodle Bar alone will add 12 tables. They will be offering their full menu during normal operating hours, Monday through Saturday. And the Bakersfield City Council will no longer ask restaurants to pay for a permit to operate outdoors. When Governor Gavin Newsom shut down indoor dining operations in several counties, including Kern, local restaurants could apply for a special events permit. Now, that permit, which cost $86, allows businesses to operate on public sidewalks or streets. Last night, the council decided it will no longer charge the $86 fee, and anyone who paid it can request a refund from the city's Treasury Department. Google Maps will soon include information on the spread of COVID-19 in states, counties, and some cities. Clicking on the COVID layer in the app will show the 7-day average number of confirmed cases. The map will be color-coded based on case rate, and a label shows if they're going up or down. The feature, which pulls data from Johns Hopkins, the New York Times, and Wikipedia, is being rolled out on Android and iOS devices this week. It's the latest feature Google Maps has introduced over the past few months, including alerts and mask mandates on public transit and takeout options at restaurants. Well, a reminder that even though there's no Kern County Fair this year, you can still get some of your favorite fair foods starting tomorrow. Now, the Fair Food Drive-Thru will start tomorrow and run through October 4th. It starts at 11 each morning at the P Street parking lot at the Kern County Fairgrounds. You'll be asked to stay in your car to pick up the food. The board says it hopes this brings a little fun for everyone until next year, when everyone can celebrate back in person.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Noon.
The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to KGET.com.